The Pawn Stars are known to be masters of the deal, but in truth, they also are known for screw-ups and blow-ups. Here are some of the biggest blow-ups of the bunch. Number 5. Mandolin. When it comes to Chumlee, you know exactly who he is and what he's capable of. He may be a star on the show, but he's no Harrison, not even close. He got into the store's team because of his friendship with Corey and became a fan favorite character on the show because of his stupidity and comedy aspects, which has led to several items being bought by him, despite them having nowhere near the value that he thinks. There have been times when Chumlee did good, but there have been times when Chumlee just messed up royally. One time in the series, he was minding the shop alone when he was brought what he was told to be an authentic Gibson mandolin. And since the others weren't able to help out in the appraisal, that meant Chumlee had to do all the work himself. He was told by Rick Harrison earlier on to not buy anything over $1,000. But he remembered Rick Harrison eyeing a mandolin like this one earlier, but was unable to get it. So he got this one for $1,500. But upon showing it to an expert, he found out that it was a fake, one of hundreds out there in the world. And to make matters worse, the value of this fake mandolin was a mere $100. Needless to say, Rick was furious, not just because of the bad buy, but because Chumlee once again didn't listen to him. A reoccurring theme if you know the series. Number 4. The original bat phone. Getting certain kind of items from legendary TV shows is a good way to make some quick cash. One customer came into the shop one day and claimed that he had the original red bat phone from the Batman 66 television series, starring Adam West and Burt Ward. The Batman 66 television series is arguably one of the most important TV series in superhero history. While it did show off the more campy side of Batman and Robin, a stark contrast to what Batman and Robin are now portrayed as, it was beloved and had not only 100 episodes, but a major movie release as well. It also helped cement Batman as a pop culture icon, with many of its stars and catchphrases and theme song remembered to this day for their roles. And when Adam West passed away, a bat signal was flashed onto a building in his honor. Now, the phone itself wouldn't have been worth too much. However, the customer had an ace in the hole of sorts with the fact that both Adam West and Burt Ward had apparently signed the phone when he met them after getting the item. That in turn would make the item much more valuable. However, at the time, all they had was the customer's word that the bat phone and the signatures were real. He had no proof saying that any of it was authentic. True to their style, the Pawn Stars called in an expert, one who said they were all real. However, there was something seriously sketchy about it. Mainly, the signature of Adam West looked somewhat tainted in regards to its placement. Because of this, the value of the phone was only put at $200, despite the customer claiming it was worth $500. Rick would only offer $100 for the item, so the customer left in a huff. When you deal with the public for a living, you really never know what's going to happen. Rick Harrison was reminded of this the hard way in 2014 when his store was sued for melting down a collection of gold coins that the former owner, David Walters, alleged had been stolen and sold off by his niece. According to UPI, Walters claimed that his niece received $12,375 for his $50,000 gold coin collection. And although pawn shops in Nevada are required to hold on to items for 30 to 90 days in case the owners want them back, gold coins aren't subject to that law. Unfortunately for Walters, that meant his collection was gone by the time he tracked it down. And because of a loophole in the law, the Pawn Stars couldn't be charged for anything, and thus the owner couldn't get what he deserved for those coins. His niece was arrested though, so at least there's that. But the owner was still furious at what went down. Number 2. 1867 Proof Shield Nickel. One customer came into the store and had an 1867 Proof Shield Nickel, one of the rarest and most valuable American coins ever made in many ways. One of the biggest reasons for its rarity was that this coin was made as a proof, meaning that it was a prototype or a test coin that was possibly going to be mass manufactured by the US Mint. This was also the first nickel to have both copper and nickel put into it. As you could probably guess, the coin never got fully mass-produced, so only a few remain. As you can guess, the customer wanted a lot for it, mainly $90,000, as there had only been 25 of these coins ever made. The condition of this one was great. However, when the expert came in, he noted that while it was valuable, others have sold this coin in the past and got at most $80,000 for it. To his credit, Rick offered around $50,000, but the customer wouldn't budge off that $80,000. And he said he'd have to be in the desert and dying of thirst to sell it for $50,000. Right. Number 1, from Julie to Frank with love. The Pawn Stars see a lot of things in their shop, but for Rick Harrison, even he could admit that a love letter written by the Judy Garland to the Frank Sinatra is not something you'd see every day in your pawn shop. Judy Garland was one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses in the 1930s and 40s, including being in the eternally beloved movie The Wizard of Oz. As for Frank Sinatra, he's a legendary actor and singer who was one of the most important acts of the same time period and beyond. Both of their fames were eternal in a way, and the idea that they were in a relationship of any kind is pretty cool. Now, like a good pawn shop owner, Rick had an expert come in and check everything to make sure it was real. The expert was amazed at how real it was, confirmed that it was from Judy Garland and the story that was in the letters was true. Here's the problem though. The customer wanted $15,000 because he felt the letter was infinitely special because of its content. However, the expert countered and said that there was a lot of stuff on the market that was tied to Judy Garland, and so her value wasn't as high as he thought. Rick then offered $1,500 for the piece, which didn't make the customer satisfied one bit. He noted as he left that Rick just didn't appreciate the special kind of piece it was, and that he would wait for the next auction and likely get over 10 grand for it. I'd make a bet that he didn't get that. And there you have it, everyone. A look at sometimes when the Pawn Stars made each other mad and customers mad. Can you believe the gall of some of the customers as well as Chumlee? Which of these 5 offenses do you think is worst? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time on the channel.